Is what you are feeling simply a normal part of getting older, or is your body trying to tell you something more serious is happening? This is one of the most common questions doctors hear from patients over 50, and getting the answer wrong can mean years of delayed treatment. Here is what makes this question so genuinely difficult. Two people can be exactly the same age, experiencing seemingly similar symptoms, yet one is dealing with completely normal age-related changes while the other has a developing lung condition that needs medical attention. The symptoms can look remarkably similar on the surface. Today we are revealing the 5 specific differences that doctors actually use to tell these two situations apart. By the end of this video, you will understand exactly what questions to ask yourself, and exactly what to bring up with your doctor if something feels uncertain. Quick note before we begin. This video is for educational purposes only, and does not replace professional medical diagnosis. Always consult your licensed physician about any concerns regarding your breathing or health changes. If you are experiencing severe breathing difficulty right now, call 911 immediately. Difference number 1. The timeline pattern. Normal age-related changes in lung function happen extremely gradually, typically unfolding over 10, 15, even 20 years. The change is so slow that most people barely notice it happening at all, adapting their activities without even realizing why. A developing lung condition, on the other hand, often shows a noticeably different timeline. While it can also develop slowly, family members or the person themselves frequently can point to a period of months, perhaps a year or two, where they noticed a more distinct shift, not a slow fade, but a more recognizable before and after. Difference number 2. Breathlessness severity pattern. With normal aging, breathlessness typically appears only during genuinely significant exertion, climbing several flights of stairs quickly, or sustained vigorous activity that would challenge even a younger person somewhat. Someone experiencing normal age-related changes can usually walk at a comfortable pace for a reasonable distance without any breathing distress, even if they would feel some effort during a more demanding physical challenge. With a developing lung condition, breathlessness tends to appear during much milder activities, walking slowly to the mailbox, light housework, or even certain positions while resting. This is one of the clearest distinguishing signals doctors look for specifically. Now here is where the third difference becomes particularly important to understand clearly. Difference number 3. Cough characteristics. Occasional coughing happens to everyone as we age, perhaps triggered by dry air, mild irritation, or seasonal allergies. This type of cough tends to be brief, infrequent, and resolves on its own within a short time. This occasional cough pattern, even when it happens periodically, generally does not represent a significant medical concern when it remains infrequent and unaccompanied by other symptoms. A cough associated with a developing lung condition tends to be persistent rather than occasional, happening most days, often producing mucus, and continuing for weeks rather than resolving within a few days on its own. Difference number 4. The speed of activity tolerance decline. This is closely related to the timeline pattern, but focuses specifically on physical capability rather than just breathing sensation. With normal aging, your ability to walk certain distances or climb certain numbers of stairs declines so gradually across many years that comparing yourself to how you were a decade ago often shows the change, but comparing to just last year typically shows very little difference. A more rapid decline, noticeable within just months rather than years, is a pattern that genuinely deserves medical attention rather than being attributed automatically to aging. And now, difference number 4 becomes even clearer when we look at what else accompanies it. Difference number 5. Additional accompanying symptoms. This is often the most telling difference of all. Normal age-related lung changes typically occur in relative isolation, breathlessness during exertion, perhaps, without much else accompanying it. A developing lung condition frequently brings additional symptoms alongside the breathing changes: swollen ankles, a bluish tint to the lips or fingertips during activity, more frequent respiratory infections than in the past, or unexplained weight loss. When breathing changes appear together with any of these additional signals, that combination is significant. So how do you actually use these 5 differences in your own life? Think through each one honestly. Has the change happened gradually over many years, or more noticeably over recent months? Does breathlessness only happen during genuinely demanding activity, or also during mild everyday tasks? Is any cough occasional or persistent for weeks? Has activity tolerance declined slowly over a decade or rapidly over a shorter period? And are there any additional symptoms accompanying the breathing changes? Writing down your honest answers to these questions before your next doctor visit transforms a vague conversation about feeling more tired lately into a specific, useful discussion that helps your doctor understand exactly what you have been experiencing. The definitive way to know for certain is a simple test called spirometry. This breathing test measures precisely how much air your lungs can hold and how efficiently you can exhale it, providing objective data that goes well beyond how something simply feels. The test itself is quick, painless, and typically takes only a few minutes in your doctor's office. You breathe into a device called a spirometer following simple instructions, and the results give your doctor concrete numbers to work with rather than relying on description alone. Here is a quick summary of all 5 differences we covered today. The timeline pattern: gradual over decades versus more noticeable over months. Breathlessness severity: only during significant exertion versus during mild activities too. Cough characteristics: occasional and brief versus persistent and productive. Decline speed: slow over years versus rapid over a shorter period. And additional symptoms: relatively isolated versus accompanied by other signals like swelling or frequent infections. Understanding these differences does not mean diagnosing yourself at home. It means knowing when a conversation with your doctor is genuinely worthwhile, rather than dismissing something as just aging when it may deserve a closer look. Breathe easy. Live strong. If this helped clarify things for you, please share this video with a family member or friend over 50 who has wondered the same thing, and subscribe for a new video every single week, because your health after 50 deserves real answers.